Parliament, because this was a record high. Diesel going up to 243 shillings a litre. It has never happened before. Many would have expected some sort of response, some sort of reaction from the CS Energy, even from the President, some quick probably promise of relief or something like that. We are aware that the National Assembly is currently on recess. Even discussions around recalling Parliament for a discussion on this are not coming. Do you understand the frustration that has led to this kind of a strike by matatu operators and probably even the whole country?
So thank you very much. I just need to pick from what the Yongo was saying and my other colleague from the matatu sector. The reason why I think you see the government hasn't been, when you say dull, I will say reticent. Governments run on public goodwill. Mm-hmm. Governments operate on a foundation of public goodwill and support. And I think no government in the world is always excited to announce anything painful, unless it is really maybe at that high level of a war situation. So it would be understandable why the government would not be too quick or too keen to speak up, because government in this case would be happy to, like, I want to compare the two instances. The first time when there was an increase, I think a month or so ago, they were quick to address because they had something to give. Mm-hmm. The president addressed the nation the next day by saying, okay, we take cognizance of the increase, and he also explained the geopolitics around it. At that time, the Iranian war was still raging on, and he mentioned that over and above that, we are going to dip into our fuel levy kitty to try cushion, and they gave the reprieve. This one is a bit different because there's nothing to give? There's nothing to give. I think the headroom is lost at this point, whereby the government, and I think this comes from the treasury people, I don't think they would be excited to still give. Remember, our fuel levy is has been securitized.
To a huge extent, yes.
Securitized, almost all of it. So which headroom would you go to be able to cover for that? Secondly, which I think an idea or an approach that would be better is to address the key component that was massive, which is the diesel. And for diesel, that becomes really particular for any observer's interest, because if you realize the impact of petrol is not the same as the impact of diesel. Mm-hmm. Diesel is basically a production fuel. If you go to industrial area, the industries run on diesel. If you talk about the matatus, they all mostly run on diesel. If you go to the heavy-duty trucks, they run on diesel. So I would imagine the best approach would be, you don't address the wholesome issue, mm-hmm. but target this specific yes. one, because it has a direct ripple effect. My 2 cents is that there wasn't a headroom, there was nothing to give, whereby the government then is left to be at the mercy of the market forces of demand and supply. And because it had already played its hand in the first instance when the first increase came, I kind of think that if they knew, which I think possibly they knew, about once the consignment comes in, like the real effects of the Iranian war now are playing out now. And I think there was a comparison that was being done last week about the fuel increase globally. You would see it plays around that 30 to 45 to 50 shillings, depending on how critical your oil supply line comes through, for example, the Strait of Hormuz, or generally. You see, there are other factors that are also you can't discount. For example, UAE is now out of OPEC. So can that be a plus? Because you see now they would have no restraint in pouring more oil into the market. But again, how fast or how soon can that be? And when I say how fast, how soon, you're already on a strike of a matatu today. Mm-hmm. If you're talking about any change of pricing, if you're to leave it to the market forces of demand and supply as we speak right now, these are 1 month pricing. Yes. The impact will already have been there. So I think I'll agree with Yongo in terms of maybe there is need for a government communication. Yes. Government communication strategy around it. One, absorb and accept that indeed this is a problem. Number two, the mitigation measures are so and so. And I think with the matatu strike, automatically it will draw them into this space, which would involve the Ministry of Transport, it will involve the Ministry of Energy, and of course coordinated with the presidency. They have to speak on this, because what solution can they give to the strike? Because the industrial action will demand more or less like a response. And remember, when there's an industrial action, when you don't have mobility of human resource, Like today, as I was coming here, I haven't seen any vehicle. Like it has taken me at most 12 minutes, a place I normally take 30 minutes. So that tells you there are no vehicles. And that would mean quite a number of employers will tell the employees not to come. That one takes a hit.
Yes, and you wonder where we get the balance from, because the economy just grinds to a halt.
A single day of people not moving around is catastrophic in a big way.
Those are live pictures from the CBD. Empty roads, very few matatus. I can see 1 or 2 matatus still traveling, still carrying commuters there. But you can see most people who are looking maybe to move from the CBD probably to Westlands or other parts of the country, of the city, are not able to. But Bwana Thiongo, it would appear not everyone. Okay, just before I ask you that question, I'm told Brenda Modoni is now ready.